Hello, hello. Okay, hold on. Alright, we're back after so long, I guess. Damn, been a minute. Either way, gonna continue the story. Last time, it was a very long chapter last time. Not gonna lie, by the time I was done, I was like so freaking tired. I didn't even read the tips now that I think about it. But yeah, last time it was a lot of explaining, not explaining, like exposition about the past. We went into the shed. We talked to the lady, the nurse lady, and Tomitaka. We learned a lot about the idea of the ritual. You know, pretty cool. Okay, hold on. Let's see. View new tips. All right. Scrapbook after the festival. Okay, I guess we might as well read this. I don't know if I'll have enough time to finish the whole chapter. Unfortunately, I usually. Oh wait, hold on. Let me turn on. I didn't even turn on the game audio. There we go. I don't even know if I'm gonna have enough time to finish the whole chapter. I usually do one chapter per stream, but unfortunately, right when I had time to stream, something else came up, so I might leave soon. So I'll see how far I can go. I'll try to go as far as I can. But yeah, let's continue and just read along. All right, Watanagashi. The rite of Watanagashi is performed during a village festival every June, even now. But reading back on its origin, turn up a seriously shaguin ceremony. I actually sanguine. I actually don't know that word. Sanguine. Sanjuin. Whatever. Originally, Watanagashi would happen at certain intervals, and after receiving Oyashiro's trust, they chose a sacrifice. Then the entire village would kidnap, demon away the person, and ceremonially dissect and devour them in a feast. Yeah, I remember. It was like cannibalism ideas that was sort of like talked about in the last chapter. The rules that determine the intervals are shrouded in mystery, because this is because the ceremonies occurred extremely irregularly. There's a theory that it was determined based on an astrological fortune telling, but it isn't too convincing. The residents of ancient Onigafuchi village firmly believed that they were half man, half demon transcendents, and that they were more valuable than humans were, and they forced people within and without to accept that. Perhaps the act of kidnapping and eating people was done to prove that they were higher up on the food chain. Okay. This is just a hypothesis, but maybe the rite of Watanagashi was a political event for the purpose of being an outlet for, or outright diverting the attention of, the villagers of the isolated Onigafuchi village. In case any of their complaints or dissatisfactions grew serious. If that was the main reason these ceremonies were held, then it's easy to explain how erratic they were. Okay. So yeah, just continuing on the idea of the Watanagashi festival. What is the actual point of it? It's for Oyashiro-sama, but, you know, are there ulterior motives? Who knows? Alright, an alleged importance of the implements. Oh, right. There was like a bunch of tools in the shed, like a bunch of like torture tools. There was a cage. Specifically, they talked about a cage. I can't find anything that gives a concrete description of what the ritual implements were like. They were, however, real, and they're extremely, and they were definitely existed a multitude of different kinds. One source states that the implements used in the Watanagashi rite alone numbered 200. The obvious question then is why they were required such a myriad of them. The rite of Watanagashi was to kidnap people through the demoning away, dissect them, and eat them. I believe the tools were for this dissection and restraining, but 200 of them is far too many. Generally, tools evolve in such a way as to reach a solution for a certain problem. Once you reach that ultimate goal, that is to attain a certain level of efficiency, the tool evolves normally stopped there. Regardless, why would they have to create so many different kinds? One of the cultural elements responsible for diversification over time is that of entertainment. Tools used for entertainment would evolve over time and branch out. Unlike normal tools, reaching the ultimate goal would be more of a dead end, and in search of the next goal. They would split into many different subtypes. So then, perhaps it's not a stretch to suggest that these 200 plus implements had some entertainment value. Interesting. This is just a hypothesis, of course, but many of the human dissecting process was viewed as a type of entertainment. The three families of old would develop one new implement, dissection tools, after another, and each was varied, novel, and attracted spectators to keep them from growing bored. This is unimaginable. All of them have to be enshrined within the storehouse. There isn't much longer until the night of Watanagashi. Though its original intent has been lost, I will reveal the secrets of the traditional ceremonial night within the ritual storehouse. I can't restrain my excitement. Watanagashi cannot come soon enough. Alright. Oh boy, I can't wait. Alright, hold on. Let me check the audio. I didn't even check the audio. I'm pretty sure it's fine, but I might as well check. But anyway, yeah, I've been doing good. Just haven't been streaming. Yeah, the audio seems pretty good. Okay, let's continue. This is the last note after the festival. Alright, let's see. Late that night, tensions in the public station were strained. In the silence, many of the staff members' eyes shifted back and forth between the clock and their telephones, counting the seconds in the stifled atmosphere. Kumagaya-kun burst in with a young guy trailing behind him. The physician just got here. Ready to go, sir. I'll head straight to the burned body's location. Again, if you guys did not know, I tried reading everything, including dialogue, and I'm not gonna lie, it is a very tiring process. I will kind of summarize the dialogue. If there's something very important, I will read it. But for the most part, I'm just gonna stick to the narration and like the internal monologues and just, you know, any of those things. I won't read too much of the dialogue. I'll maybe surmise what is going on.
Kuma-chan, ちょっと話がややこしくなりました。向こうは身元の判別が非常に困難な状態だそうです。
I forgot, did they find a victim already? I guess they did. They're talking about a burning, so maybe there is a victim already. Could they have... I know it's probably Tomitaka again, like from the first part, but yeah, let's see. They could have been dismembered. Cooked to a nice light brown. Holy shit. He spoke in a sportive tone, but the meaning behind his words were heavy. Well, it was heavy. That staff gave a collective sigh. Okay, so I forgot what... Did he get stabbed or did he get like beaten? I forgot what the method of him... again, I'm assuming it's Tomitaka. I forgot if that's what happened in the last part. Because here they're saying he got burned to a crisp. Or maybe he did get burned to a crisp. Completely blackened, it seemed. Cooked with no possessions. Then discarded outside the prefecture. Okay. At worst, it would have taken a week for a body to be identified. The fact that they sniffed it out tonight was huge. Alright, so they're matching the tooth. Makes sense. The young guy answered in affirmation and darted out into the hallway to get his cigarettes.
今年は見事見つけましたね。ひょっとすると過去の失踪者もこんな感じで県外で殺されてたんすかね。
Okay. So they actually did just find the body super fast.
なら埋めればいいじゃないですか。重りつけて日本海でも。琵琶湖でもいいですね。
でもどうして一人死んで一人消えるのがこれまでのパタ
Right,
ーンじゃな
right,
いです
right.
か。
I forgot. Wait. In the first part, no one technically disappeared, right? Because it's one person dies, the other person disappears. And I don't think anyone actually disappeared in
仏
the
は
first
拘
part.
束なしでドラム缶の中でこんがりでしょう。
It was just Tomitaka who died.
締められた後
Oh,
に
wait,
わ
I
ざわ
guess-
ざ焼いたんじゃないかと思うんですよ。
Would Keiichi technically be the one who disappeared? Because, well, technically he didn't. I think he died, or I forgot if they confirmed, like, they never found him or something, or he disappeared. No, I think it was, like, he died at the end of the first part. Kuma-chan, the corpses is an oil drum, unrestrained and cooked. They probably burned them after strangling
見
them.
つかることを覚悟の上でです。
They knew it would be found.
じゃあ、つま
Okay.
り今年は消す気は初めからなかった。
消す気がないってよりは、これはそれとは全く別のものでしょうね。消すどころか主張しているようにすら感じられますよ。
つまり見せしめの意味があるってことっすか。
それをしないでやってくれりゃその線もある。こんな遠くまで運んで焼いちゃったら下手したら分かんないでしょう。見せしめにするならひなみ沢の近くでやるべきなんですよ。殺したことを主張したいのに場所は演出効果の確実じゃない遠方。主張したいのか隠したいのか。今年は何考えてるのかな、お社様は。
So they're saying that they actually just displayed the body. They weren't trying to hide the evidence. And also, they're assuming that this is the person who was supposed to disappear, but I thought it was one and one. The telephone rang, cut through the heavy silence. A staff member nearby snatched up the
大井さ
receiver.
ん、小宮山さんです。出ました。沖宮のデンタルクリニックで3年前に親知らずの治療をしてます。
カルテは？
レントゲン付きでバッチリと。
いやー、こんな明け方前に歯医者さんには申し訳ないな。クマちゃん、小宮山君からカルテ受け取ったらすぐに出発してください。
Get out here. And give us the
了
record.
解っす。課長です。夜分お疲れ様です。
大石さん、遅くなって申し訳ない。状況は？
やっと面白くなってきたってどこですかね。
わ
What the fuck? Wow! Okay, there we go. So they did find the tooth. I'm guessing they're going to identify the body. That it is probably going to be Tomitaka-san. Alright. Save. Let me just save here. 12-2. Save here. Okay. We're in chapter... We ended chapter 7, so we're in chapter 8. Okay. I forgot. Did I even name it chapter 8 on the video? I didn't remember. Yeah, it is chapter 8. Okay, everything's good. Alright, let's continue. Let out a great big yawn. It was like morning has arrived just as soon as I got to sleep. As my mom set up breakfast, she gave me a pained
ど
smile.
うしたのケイチ。
What's the matter,
ゆ
Cage?
うべは何時に寝たの？
12時には寝たつもりだけど、昨日はなんだか寝つきが悪くてさ。
お
Yeah.
祭りではしゃぎすぎて興奮して眠れなかったんでし
Where
ょ。
were they? I forgot. Did they just say like, oh, we went home? Or something? Or they didn't even go, I think.
違うよ。
They're probably all worked up for the festival. No, that's not it. Crunch, crunch. I crunched down hard on the pickled radish to hide my embarrassment. After all, what happened yesterday and our discussion about the sound Shion heard. Oh yeah, right. What was it? They heard like someone outside. I forgot if it was like, oh, they're calling towards us or they're trying to talk to us or something. But yeah, I do remember that. Oh yeah, okay. The banging noise like a child far away, jumping up and down on the right. It was like jumping up and down. The story wouldn't get out of my head, so I had trouble sleeping. It was a long night, and I kept jumping at the slight sound of faraway trees' branches, which should have been either unheard or too insignificant to notice. That happens, man. When you like get freaked out by something, like your mind just like starts wandering and shit. Like anything starts jumping you. Like that's just a natural response from like predators and stuff like that. Like, you know, if you're ever like just stuff that evolved with us as like survivors and stuff like that. When I woke up to the morning sunlight, the birds chirping, it made me feel pretty ashamed about it. But I felt far from refreshed this morning.
Keiichi-kun! Ohayo!
Keiichi-kun, good morning.
あれ
Huh?
ケイチ君目が真っ赤だよ。
Your eyes all red.
どうしてだろう
おはよう。
Yo,
どうい
good
うわけ
morning.
か寝つきが悪くてな。そんなわけで今日は寝不足だ。
I'm sleep deprived, bro. Freaking tired as fuck,
昨
man.
日のお祭りは楽しかったね。
Yeah, I had a lot of
レナ
fun.
も興奮がなかなか冷めなくてなかなか寝れなかったんだよ。
In Rena's case, her excitement seemed to still be wide
こう
awake.
いうお祭りが何度もあればいいのにね。またみんなで大盛り上がり。はう
Let's have more fun.
まあ、そうだな。
Rena talking about the festival yesterday made me remember everything I had nearly forgotten from last night. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of trying to refresh my memory too. So if you could give me a quick synopsis, that would be great. Oh, okay, they might actually give me. The inside of the ritual store had been so utterly different from the relaxing, bright, everyday life of Hinamizawa. All those stories that Takano-san told me too. The mysterious incidents that occurred on the day of Watanagashi festival every year. The strange incidents where one person would die and one would disappear. The stories of Hinamizawa flickering like a candle behind them. The old stories. The numerous and horrifying traditions of the Onigafuchi village. The villagers with demon blood in them. The terrible cannibalistic feast. The poor sacrifices kidnapping from villages victims of the Onikakushi. To quell the rage of Oyashiro-sama, the ritual involved living sacrifices. There were also many more, many others. There were so many stories that just remembered them put me in a foul mood. Most of them weren't fiction either, they were true. We didn't get to fear them just because they were real though. Since it all happened so long ago, such a very long time ago.
みーちゃん遅いね。
Yeah, where is she? Nani? Before I realized it, we had arrived at the same place where we usually meet with Mion. Probably because I was so
こ
lost
の
in
時間
thought.
になっても来ないときは先に行ってもいい約束になってるんだけど。
Did we agree on that? Should we leave her? Mion being late wasn't too rare an occurrence, but today she was unusually late. A few of the ominous tales from last night before coming back to life in my mind again. Came back to life in my mind again. Who would die this year, and who would disappear? Not me. It couldn't have been Mion.
どうするかな、ケイチ君。もう行かないと遅刻になっちゃうかも。
Geichi-kun, what should we do?
来るよ。
She'll be
学
here.
校休むって電話があったわけじゃないだろ。
Yeah, she didn't tell us she'd stay
もう
home.
5分待ってみようぜ。な。
Rena looked at her watch and seemed a little worried, but when she nodded with a satisfied smile. If we had to wait 5 minutes, we'd have to run so fast we could to school or we'd be late. If we had to wait 5 minutes, we'd have to run as fast as we could to school or we'd be late. As soon as I thought that, we spotted Mion running towards us, out of breath.
みーちゃん、遅い遅い。
You're late, girl. Where you been? Yo.
待っててくれたわけ。
Y'all waited?
先に行っちゃってもよかったのに。
Of course we waited. Bro, there's like 5 kids in our school. Who cares if we're late? What are they gonna do? Teach without us? Mion was breathing heavily and her face was all red. Her house was right down the road, wasn't it? It wasn't far away for her to end up like this, was it?
みーちゃん、
Was she somewhere
ひょ
else?
っとして具合悪くない？
You feeling well? Huh? Now that she mentioned it, Rena pushed Mion's bangs away and put her head to her forehead. Her hand to her
レナの
forehead.
手冷たいな。
Her hands are pretty cold.
みーちゃん、ちょっとだけど熱あるよ。
Girl, you're warm.
そんな大したことないよ。半日もすればケロッと治っちゃうって。
本当に大丈夫かよ。
Are you really
あまり
okay?
無理するなよ。
あれ、
What's
ケイ
this?
ちゃん気遣ってくれるの？
Are you worried about me? Oh, come on. Really giving that line?
嬉しいな。
Yo, girl, why are you acting like this? What are you hiding? The answer wasn't like Mion at all. Yeah, oh, wait. They might have switched bodies. I'm calling it. This is Shion pretending to be Mion. I'm calling it right now. She must have had it pretty bad.
無理しない方がいいと思うな。
Shouldn't push yourself too hard.
先生にはお休みだって伝えとくよ。
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, that's what I've been thinking this whole time. It's like, oh, they've been switching places this whole time. You never know who is who. Or maybe it's just who they say they are.
大丈夫大丈夫。風邪薬も飲んだし。
I took some medicine. Oh, so are you actually sick? Leon forced an energetic expression onto her face and flexed her biceps at us. Then let's get out of here.
くれぐれも無理するなよ。って言いながら。時間。
Oh no, we're late.
ないと、間に合わない。
スリリングな朝になっちゃったね。鈍った体にはちょうどいいカツかもね。走ろ。
Hey, wait, you're sick. Don't go overboard. Mion began to run vigorously away.
みーちゃんだって最上級生だろ。
Is she? I thought they were the same age.
自分の体のことは自分で一番よくわかってるよ。
I don't think that really. I decided to leave it at that and assume she was fine.
よし
Yeah.
俺たちも行こうぜ。
I don't think that really affects much. Great, let's get going too. We began to run after Mion. The school looked the same as always. The hours passed listlessly, and my lack of sleep took its toll. If there was a sport where people competed to sleeping, I'd be world champion right now. The trick to overcoming this sort of dangerous situation was to hold your pencil upside. Oh my god, don't do that! Why do you ask? So you don't draw a pattern over your nose while half asleep. What if you stab yourself? If you were to hold the pencil upside down, it wouldn't happen, would it? Bump, 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 bump. Something that felt like an eraser hit me in the head 6 times. 6 times? What the hell? Satoko!
私は何もしてないでございますわ。
Oh, did he just assume it was
お前以外
her?
にこんないたずら誰がするんだよ。
Why would you do a prank like that?
あ、消しゴムじゃなくてチョークか。
Oh, it was chalk, not an eraser. Was it actually not her? How dare you do this? Oh no, it was Seal. Behind me, the female outlaw might hold razors. Was the teacher Shadow holding 3 pieces of chalk in each hand? Rumble, rumble, rumble.
前原くん、
My
お顔を洗ってらっしゃい。
Go wash your face.
はい。喜んで。
Bro, I couldn't sleep last night. That alone was enough to wake me up, but I flew out into the hallway as if shoved out by the pressure exuded by the teacher's sheer power. Damn, her aura pushed them out. If I was going to wash my face anyway, then I would rather use the sink out front rather than the one in the dark restroom. Thinking that, I left the hallway and went to the entrance. Is he gonna see Ooishi? The sunlight was strong. So strong you wouldn't think it was June. Oh dude, it's so freaking bright right now. For some reason the weather's terrible and it's April. If I let it run for a few moments, would it get cold? I looked at it absentmindedly for a little while.
やっぱケイちゃんはこっちの流しを選んだか。
I need to choose these things.
表の方が気分いいもんね。
ミオンか。
Yeah, I would say they would feel better. Damn, homie is like exhausted.
授業サボるなよな。
Mion. Yawn. Wait, Mion. Yawn. That's freaking Mion. I stuck my head into the water to find it. It had gotten so cold that it seemed strange it had ever been warm. What a weird line. I guess, yeah. I scooped it up and splashed it against my face. Once I was done, I moved out of the way and Mion did the same.
具合の方はいいのかよ。
How's your cold? Yeah, aren't you sick?
眠いのは寝不足じゃなくて、薬の副作用なんだろ。
Was she drinking NyQuil, bro? That shit like takes you out, man.
実は内緒なんだけど、昨日はお祭りの後で親族の宴会に巻き込まれちゃってさ。
Damn, a party?
それで、実はエンドレス
Woe is me, I got no life. I don't get invited to parties. Wait, what? Wait, what did I say? I didn't even... And well, I had a bit. A bit of what? A bit? She made a gesture like she was tilting a cup into her mouth. Which means you didn't have a cold or anything.
つまり、本当に寝不足なのかよ。
Girl, aren't you like 14? Well, I guess.
徹夜明けならそうと言え、紛らわしい。
How old are you, bitch?
勘弁してよ。体調が悪いのは本当なんだからさ。
So, are you sick or are you hungover? I suppose she'd been feeling lousy either way. Still, you treat colds and hangovers in a completely different
心
ways.
配して損したぞ。
I was worried over nothing, you dumbass.
ミオンらしいというかなんというか。
Mion scratched her head, a little embarrassed. She didn't seem to be feeling well, but now that I knew it was a hangover, I didn't need to worry too much. It would go away with time after all.
ああ、でも頭がガンガンするのは本当。だからさ、さっき先生に早退していいって。
あ、ずるいやつ。
Hey, you got excused? Fuck you.
じゃあミオンはもうこれで帰りなのか？
You're going home now? Now that I look again, Mion had her bag with her. She seemed to have been on her way home.
申し訳ないけどね。今日は家でおとなしく寝させてもらうわ。部活できなくて申し訳ないね。今日はケイちゃんがリーダーってことでやってくれない？
Damn, me
無理だと思う
leader?
ぜ。俺たち部活は全員揃った時しかやらないっていう暗黙の了解。ミオンがバイトに行ってる時はいつもそのままお開きだったんだぜ。
Mion laughed wearily, saying we didn't need to worry about her. No matter how much fun we had, though, I think that feeling guilty about friends who can't share in it is the sign of a really fantastic friendship. What did you say? Say that again? In that sense, the club Mion had created is a wonderful thing. As I thought about it, the moisture on my washed face dried up. I suppose we were talking too much. If I didn't go back to the classroom soon, I would get in trouble.
じゃあな。
Okay, later.
俺は教室に戻るぜ。
I'm going back.
帰りは気をつけろよ。
Be careful on your way home.
ふらふらして側溝や用水路に落ちるなよ。
Don't wobble into a sewer or a brook. Got it? I left it at that, turning around and started heading back to the classroom. She's gonna say something
そうそう
weird.
ケイちゃん。
I knew it. Something weird's about to be said. Mion stopped me and I turned my head to listen.
なんだ？
Don't trust this person. What's up?
変なこと聞くけど、深く考えないで答えてね。
それは内容によりけりだな。
Yeah. Alright, here we go.
昨日の渡流しの晩さ、富武さんと高野さんに会わなかった？
Did I see them? Nah. I don't know. I barely know them. Oh, I suddenly tensed up.
富武さんと高野さんはわかるよね。
Yeah,
ほ
I
ら
heard
ケ
of
イち
them.
ゃん、お祭りの前日準備の時、シオンと一緒に4人でお話ししてたでしょ？
Yeah, we were talking then. If I could, I wanted to forget about sneaking into the storehouse that night as soon as possible. So hearing the name of people I was with at the time really got to me. Besides that, though, why was Mion asking me a question like that? I ended up staring at her, unable to answer immediately. Was she asking to see if I had seen them or not? Or was she asking that question knowing that I had... I couldn't tell.
さあ、どうかな。
Maybe.
合わなかったような。
Come on, man. A maybe? You know, maybe's never a good answer. My vague response was clearly not to Mion's liking. Yeah, I'm like, dude, just say yes or no. If you say yes, she'll at least be like, yeah, well, I mean, I guess he did see them there. The answer she was expecting from me, there's no way for me to know.
そう。じゃあもう一つ質問ね。
One more question.
同じく夕べ、シオンに会わなかった？
What's with the shake? My heart leaped into my throat again. The tiny needles buried underneath Mion's words pricked into me.
それ、昨日も聞いたよな。俺、会ったかどうかわからないって答えたと思ったぜ。
ん？そうだっけ？
Her face. Did you? Hmm?
また改めて聞いたら、違う
Whoa!
答えが返ってくるかなって思ってさ。
Whoa. Cool. I suddenly noticed something in Mion's eyes, something indescribable. Oh, is it going to be the angry stare? Tomitaka and Takano-san. Shion too. She was asking me about them. There's no doubt about it. Last night, the four of us snuck into the ritual storehouse. She knew everything. So what? There's not really a curse anyway. That's right. Even Shion and Takano-san said yesterday during the festival that there was no curse. And that rather than a curse, it was the doing of the villagers. My blood curled. Mion was, almost without a doubt, aware that we snuck into the storehouse. It was nothing strange. I screwed up bad flipping on the light switch last night. If Mion had been searching for me, it was simple to imagine that she had seen the momentary light that had come on out what was going on. Yeah, I remember he did turn on the
本当
lights
に
real
会って
quick.
ないんだね。
どうして会ったかどうかをそんなに気にするんだよ。
大したことじゃないの。富武さんと高野さんとシオンとケイちゃんをね、悪く言ってる人たちがいるの。
Whoa, they're talking shit about
何
us?
が悪いんだかはよく聞いてないんだけどね。
Unpleasant sweat dripped down my arm, and the sound of it hanging from my fingertips was so annoyingly loud.
私、ケイちゃんが悪いことをするなんて信じてないから。でも、ちょっとだけ聞いてみたかったから聞いてみたの。
Nah, I'm
愉
good,
快な
I'm
思いを
good.
させてごめんね。
Nah, I'm good, I'm good. I found myself unable to reply. My reaction must have made it obvious what the truth was, and yet I couldn't
ケイ
explain
ちゃんは
myself.
富武さんとも高野さんとも、そしてシオンとも一緒じゃなかった。
Nah, I don't fucks with them. I don't fucks with them
そう
like
だよ
that.
ね。
Right?
ああ、
Yeah. I finally wrung out an answer between ragged breaths. Mion's expression softened a little.
よかった。
Okay.
私言っとくね。ケイちゃんは何にも悪いことには加わってないし。
Tell who? Tell
み
them?
んなにちゃんと言っておくからね。
Tell everyone. Yes, please do. Tell them I wasn't doing anything bad. To everyone, make sure? Everyone? Everyone. Who is everyone?
じゃあね。
Okay, later.
明日は元気になってるから。バイバイ。
Yeah, bye, girl. Yeah, fuck off. Yo, who's everyone? Wait, Mion! What do you mean by everyone? Just then, a freezing cold hand touched the back of my neck.
こら。
Damn, freezing cold? Is she cold-blooded, bro?
遅いですよ、前原くん。顔を洗うだけなのに、時間がかかりすぎです。
I was washing my face and then I fell asleep. My bad. It was the teacher. I was taking too long. She came out to get me.
あ、すみません。ついミオンとおしゃべりを。
I was just speaking to Mion. I turned around, but Mion was had crossed through the schoolyard without me realizing it and was now standing at the gate.
さ、お勉強に戻りますよ。
Bro, what have I been studying?
早く。
The teacher had been insistent. We returned to the entrance. I looked back one more time and Mion was nowhere in sight.
ケイチ、今日はずっと元気がないのです。
Wait, I like this song a lot. It's very calming.
昨日大はしゃぎしすぎたからに違いありませんわ。
Yeah, I had too much fun, girl. Like, it was so much fun yesterday.
迷子になって目を真っ赤にさせて半
That's
泣
why
き
I'm
してたやつ
tired.
に言われたくねえ。
Oh my god. Why are you teasing him about that? Whoa.
ゆうべのさとこちゃん、可愛かったよ。は
My friends did their best to try to cheer me up, but it didn't lighten my mood. Yeah, I was about to say, that was kind of like a... These sprites are cute. That response from Rena seemed kind of forced, don't you think? Like the way that was voice acted. Was it Yeah, that laugh.
ゆうべのさとこちゃん、可愛かったよ。
Yeah, it kind of sounds like they're trying to lighten the mood, you know? Was it worse than I thought? Had I really done something that terrible last night? Those thoughts remained with me for the rest of the day.
じゃあね、ケイチくん。
Bye, Keiichi-kun.
また明日ね。
By the time I realized it, I was in front of my own house.
みーちゃんも風邪だったみたいだけど、ひょっとしてケイチくんもなのかな？
Me? Yeah, maybe I'm sick.
大丈夫だよ。
Okay,
こ
no,
う見
I'm
えても
fine.
風邪で休んだことはないんだぜ。
でも、みーちゃんもケイチくんも、今日は具合が悪そうだし。
Nah, I feel fine.
気にしてくれてありがとな。
Thanks for
大
worrying
丈夫。
about me.
バカは風邪ひかないんだぜ。
Idiots don't catch cold, remember? Rena smiled, then waved to me and left. Whew! With my shoulders bobbing up and down from breathing heavily, I entered the house. As soon as I got back, Mom called out to me.
何？
What? What's going on?
ケイチ、悪いんだけど図書館に行って本を返してきてくれない？
Return a few books.
めんどくさいな。
Yeah, that's me. I'm like, yeah, don't tell me to go do an errand, bro. I don't want to
お
do that
父さんも
shit.
母さんも今ね、ちょっと電話待ちをしてるところで家を開けられないの。
Both of you? Why do both of you gotta
返却
wait
期限
around?
も今日までだし、お願いできない？
God damn, man. Why do I gotta do that? Sheesh. Did it have to do with Dad's job? No point in arguing if they bring that
仕
up.
方ないな。
I guess so, but
でも俺、図書館がどこにあるか知らないよ。
I don't know where the library is. Damn,
あら、
really?
知らないの？
Damn,
沖
don't
宮
know?
の駅前をちょっと進んで、
It's a little bit past Okinomiya Station. Damn, man, you're asking me to walk mad far. Oh, there you go. Just take the phone and then go. My parents' face immediately turned grim. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Mom snatched up the receiver.
前原です。はい？はい、おりますけど。
Oh, shit. Then she thrust the receiver at
ケ
my
イチに電
face.
話よ。
Damn, why thrust it?
早めに終わらせてね。
Don't take too long, okay? I tried to ask who it was from, but asking the person on the phone directly would be
もし
faster.
もし。
Yo?
園崎 の妹の方です。
The younger one.
こんにちは。今はお時間大丈夫ですか？
It was Shion. The older sister had a hangover today, but the younger one made no reference to
シ
it.
オンか。
Shion.
ミオンと同じで今日は徹夜明けで寝込んでるんじゃないかと思ったぜ。
Thought you'd be sleeping heavy.
それじゃあおね、今日はずる休みですか？おねらしい。
That's so like her. So this is not the first hangover she had? She laughed warmly, but Mom glared at me, slightly telling me to finish up. Damn, I can't have a conversation.
ごめんな。ちょっと親が電話待ちをしてるんで、そんなに長話はできないんだ。何の用だ？
お話ししたいことがあったんですけど、長電話が無理じゃ仕方ないですね。
She sounds a little disappointed. What would Shion want to talk to me about? Now I was
じゃあ
interested.
さ、会って話をしないか？ついでに図書館にも案内してもらえるとありがたい。
図書館って駅前の私立図書館ですか？
Yeah, that one.
別にいいですよ。バイトのついでってことで。
じゃあいつもミオンと待ち合わせてる場所わかるか？園崎家の小道に分かれる分岐の。
あ、ケイちゃん。言ってませんでしたっけ？私本家じゃなくて沖宮の家に住んでるんですよ。
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, she doesn't
だ
actually
か
live
ら
there.
待ち合わせ場所は沖宮駅の改札前なんかにしてくれた方が嬉しいんですけど。
Main house, living in an Okinomiya. Now that she mentioned it, it's always seemed like the Sonosaki sisters weren't communicating. Did they live in different houses? Yeah, no, she did mention that. She did mention that before. Also, now that she mentioned it, Rena, she said she'd never met the younger sister, despite going over to play sometimes.
じゃあ駅に集合な。
Let's meet at the station then.
すぐに行くよ。
I'll go there right away. I set the receiver down, and Mom immediately thrust a large pile of library books in my face. Damn, more than one? 6 volumes of long-form mystery novels. Mom had her own hobbies.
よろしくね。お夕飯までには帰るのよ。
Why are Keiichi's parents like so ignorant? They just don't know anything that's going on in this fucking town. I suppose I changed my clothes and grabbed my bike key. I climbed the stairs into my bedroom. Shion had been waiting for me already, so meeting up was a smooth
ミオン
process.
と違ってシオンは待ち合わせ時間を守るな。しみじみ。
おねを標準にされるといろいろと困ります。
Making my sister the standard for everything will get you in trouble. That's funny. Shion seemed a little unsteady too. She was drinking with Mion last night, wasn't she?
お前も昨夜は寝てないんだろ？隠しても無駄だぞ。で、学校を早退したに違いない。
残念でした。私はそもそも今日はずる休みしてますの。私、おねより容量いいですから。
I'm smarter. Hey, I don't think you can call playing hooky smarter.
じゃあ、先に用事を片付けます？時間もそんなにないですから、図書館へ行くんですよね。
ああ、頼むよ。お袋の借りてる本の返却期限が今日までらしい。図書館は遠いのか？
すぐ近くですよ。
As she said that, we spotted the signboard for the library almost immediately. It wasn't this easy to find, then I guess I didn't need Shion to show me where it was after all. We rode around the bend and the building was right there. Shishibone Public Library. We lived in the country, so I hadn't expected much, but it was pretty big. The first floor was actually a government office, so the library was only on the second floor, but it still looked large enough to fit a decent collection of books. We passed through the automatic doors and we were greeted by a cool breeze and of an air current. Curtain? Huh. The cicadas had been loud outside, but it was quiet inside the library. Can you imagine this person? This person in this background? Like, wonder what they were like, thinking now that they're like permanently in this like situation in this background. Alright, I'm gonna try to see the, I want to see more of these, but I don't think there's a key to switch them on and off. Okay. I didn't really get a good look at them, but if there's a key, maybe I could bind it. I'll probably figure it out after this. The air conditioning inside was kept the temperature at the ideal level for the books, which had the mildly smell unique to old paper. I guess even a library is basically the same. If there was one difference, it was that people studying for tests weren't taking up all the seats. I was one of those people, but now that seemed like a distant memory. The librarian went through the process of checking them in and then returning my mom's library card. Shion was going around the bookshelves with a deeply interested look on her face, like she wasn't the type who went into libraries very often.
図書館って涼しくていいところですね。私、将来は図書館で働きたいです。
Damn.
地味というか堅実というか、姉と比べると随分とささやかな希望だな。
Mion would definitely want to be a hard-working employee for an international trading company, or some other crazy job that involves her running around all over the world. Compared to that, what Shion said is pretty heartwarming.
まあ、互いの持ち味を大切にしたいですよね。私たち分身じゃなくてシオンとミオンというちゃんとした個人なんですから。
双子は双子なりにいろいろと考えてるんだな。でも楽しそうだよな。俺には兄弟はいないから、うちには俺以外は親しかいない。窮屈なもんだよ。
It can get a little uncomfortable.
私だってそうです。お姉とは一緒に住んでるわけじゃないですから。
Alright, she said something like that, didn't she? Why though? Sisters living apart is unusual. We were getting tired of talking while we were walking. We ended up going to the lounge area, which was vacant, and continuing the conversation.
え、お姉は本家に、私は沖宮の家に住んでるんです。
I don't think they ever explained why though.
なんだ?
What do you mean by main
随分
house?
と立派な響きがあるけどな。
本家は本家です。園崎家の本家。お姉は跡取りだから、バッチャと一緒に住んで、
She's a
いろいろ
successor.
と当主としての修行をさせられてるみたいです。
Huh. Mion had the head of the family. It kind of fits her personality, but kind of didn't too.
ケイちゃんは引っ越してきたばかりでしたよね。自分で言うのもなんですけど、園崎家ってここいらじゃ結構名士なんですよ。
本当かよ。
Huh? Seriously? The word personage didn't match that extremely sociable air that Mion and Shion gave up. From what Shion explained, the Sonozaki family goes way back to the beginning of Hinamizawa. After the war, they had a bunch of successful ventures and extended their influence to a wide
園
area.
崎家はですね、親族全体で助け合う土壌があるんです。今の当主のバッチャが築き上げたんですけどね。
Huh. Interesting. The entire family would provide backup to help one relative with a business venture. They were like a huge living company. This had them avoid tax related problems and help a relative's venture succeed one after another using large amounts of money.
沖宮の街を歩くことがあったら、看板とかを意識してみてくれ。園崎の親族が経営しているお店ってとても多いんですよ。
言われてみれば。
Just like the toy store, like the toy shop. Now that you
例
mention
のお
it,
もちゃ屋も
yeah,
親
yeah.
類の人が経営してるみたいだったな。そういえばエンジェルモートも親類の人が経営してるんじゃないのか？
Oh, do they? Whose idea was it for the uniform then? Even the few shops I was familiar with were involved with the Sonosaki family. It was definitely surprising.
特に金融不動産関係は強いですね。あと商工会議所の役員も何割かは園崎姓かその親類がついてます。沖宮一帯を評伝に市議会議員と県議会議員にも園崎がいますし。
Huh, okay, that makes sense.
ちょっと待て。
Choto mate.
なんだかすごい話になってきたぞ。
Her relatives operate shops in downtown Okinomiya, and they're especially strong in finance and real estate. On top of that, a lot of those in the Chamber of Commerce and industry are relatives, and there are even people elected into
ひょ
local
っとして
office.
園崎家ってこの辺り一帯じ
You're
ゃ
all famous?
すごいんじゃ。
ねえ。
Don't jump scare me like that, man. You know, Oyoshi's sprite is actually not that bad here. I actually think this one's the worst. This one, a lot of the main cast look, I think it's the older people. Like the young characters, like the teenage characters, they look pretty cool. You know, they look nice in this style. The older people look kind of weird. Lufu. All of a sudden, a cigarette smoke overweight man interrupted our conversation. Wait, I know this guy.
どうも。こんにちは。今日はデートですかな？
Yes, how'd you know?
羨ましいですね。
Oh my god. Shut up,
そうだ
old
と思
man.
ったら邪魔しないでほしかったですね。
Yeah, that is true. We're on a date. Bro, why are you
大石
here?
さん。
That was it. He was Oishi-san, a police officer. I thought it was this person who came to my rescue when I got involved with those delinquents before. Now that I thought about it, Mion didn't seem to like him very much.
いえいえ、すみません。知ってる声が聞こえてきたのでついつい。
Oyoshi laughed cowardsly, not showing any signs of giving up. As Shion watched him do so, I didn't feel the same sense of malice from her as I had from Mion.
前原さんでしたよね。あなたもタフな人ですね。
Nah, I'm not tough, man. I'm like mad scrawny, apparently.
園崎姉妹を二股かける。
Whoa! Whoa! Yo! I am not a two-timer, bro. Do not call me that. I am not a two-timer.
いや、そんな二股だなんて。
Yeah, exactly. I turned around and looked at Shion and pleaded for help, but she grinned and maintained her silence. Her gaze wandered. I almost said her glaze. She looked at the clock.
ごめんなさい、ケイ。私もうバイトの時間なんです。
そうなのか？
Wait, didn't you want to ask? Yeah, you wanted to ask me something. Now this weird man is here, though.
また今度。あ、バイトが終わったら電話します。夜なら電話大丈夫ですよね。
ああ、
Yeah, you can call me a night girl.
大丈夫だと思う。
じゃあ今夜電話しますので、じゃあ。
Shion left as fast as she was so fast she was practically running. Oishi was waving at me with a grin. I felt like I'd been left here as a bait so she could get away. Maybe she was lying about having to go to work.
園崎のご令嬢とこれだけ親しくできるなんて、私も口の利き方を改めた方がいいかもしれません。
Damn, nah, I'm chill, bro. I'm chill. Oishi put a coin into the vending machine and as he said something a
アイス
bit
ティーでいいですか？
iced tea. Yeah, dude, I love iced
ミル
tea.
クは入れます？
No milk. I like iced tea.
え、あ、 いえ。
じゃあ入れますよ。
I'll put some in then. Alright. No, don't put milk. You're gonna ruin it. He handed a cup full of tea filled with a brim with ice as I looked on absent-mindedly. I didn't think I'm obligated to have a guy like this buy me a drink, but he did get it for me, so I thanked him. Was Ooishi-san just killing time? We didn't know each other well, but he still engaged me in conversation about all sorts of dumb things. When I thought back to how I talked to Shion, this seemed like a total disaster.
前原さんは園崎さんのことをどれくらいご存知で？
I know they're baddies. Imagine he said that.
さっき聞いた以上のことは何も。
Other than what I just heard just now, nothing. Yeah. Until then, I hadn't known anything about either Mion or Shion other than the fact that they were very interesting. I really did only just learn that she was the daughter of some prestigious family.
園崎家はこの地域一帯を牛耳ってるヤクザ屋さんです。
Whoa. Okay. Whoa. Yakuza.
ちなみに彼女のお父さんは関東でも有名なヤクザの大幹部さんです。
The XX Yakuza?
ご存知でした？
What?
大幹部って。
シオンさんのご自宅をご存知ないんですか？高い塀に有刺鉄線と監視カメラで守られた典型的なヤクザの組長ですよ。今度ぜひ
Okay, to be fair,
遊びに行ってみてください。
security cameras are perfectly fine. There's no problem with having security cameras. Nani? She mentioned me on being a successor, but to a Yakuza group?
いえ、まさか。園崎美音さんが継ぐのはそんなちんけなヤクザ組織だけじゃありません。彼女が継ぐのは園崎家そのものですよ。
The family itself.
ちょっと噛み締めていただけますか？
Fuck, just tell me. What do you mean you leave it to me for mull over? Ooishi-san had spoken lightly about all this from start to finish, but what he was saying wasn't light in the least. It was abrupt and unbelievable.
ミオンさんがその気になれば、往来の真ん中で人殺しをしたってもみ消せちゃうかもしれないんですよ。
God damn, man, you're really not being subtle about
現れ
this.
ないだろうし、警察にだって圧力をかけられますし。
ミオンは人殺しなんかしないぞ。
しません、ものの例えですよ。
Yeah, hypothetically.
大石さんでしたっけ？名前。
ねえ、そうです。
大石さん。ミオンの家が何だろうと、ミオンは俺の誇れる最高の友人です。
She's the best friend I could ever have. Aw. That's actually really sweet. Whatever family Mion comes from, it doesn't change the fact that she's the best friend I could ever have. And I'm proud of that. And now I hear a goddamn ambulance. Alright, hold on. I'm gonna mute for a second just to let this ambulance pass. Okay. But that's really sweet. That's a very sweet line.
それをあまりけなすような言い方は好きになれないですね。
Damn, talk to him, man. Stand up for your girl. I let my quiet anger show through in my gaze as I stared at him. Of course, I didn't ever seem to tell what he was thinking, so I didn't know if it had any effect.
ではざっくばらんに。
Ooh, oh shit. Alright, then let me be real with you for a second.
そのミオンさんにいくつかの事件の嫌疑がかかっているとしたらどう思います？
Ooh. Suspected incidents. You can't just say terrible stuff like that on a whim. Yeah, like you can't just say like
何かの誤解に決まってるじゃないですか。
it would be a misunderstanding.
ミオンは物騒なことを言うやつだけど、そんな悪いことをするようなやつじゃない。
前原さん、おし
Yo, shut up, man. Quit yelling. I didn't mean to trigger you like that.
ここ 図書館ですから。
The walls have ears. Don't say shit out loud. Oh yeah, well, we are in the library, so no yelling, bro. People are studying.
落ち着いてください。さっきも申し上げました通り、園崎家はいい意味でも悪い意味でもこの辺り一帯ですから、ちょっと何かあるとすぐに疑いがかかってしまう。その辺りをご理解いただきたいのですよ。
Well, I know what Ooishi is trying to say. Combining it with what Shion told me before, the Sonosaki family is huge and controls everything from Hinamizawa to Okinomiya. Mion, meanwhile, is the successor who apparently holds strong influence over the entire family. Still, that's all. That's the only reason they're suspecting her.
私だって仕事で仕方なくやってるんです。ミオンさんを疑うためでなく、ミオンさんの疑いを晴らすために捜査をしている。そうお考えいただきたいのです。
Please think of it like this. He could talk a dog out of a meat truck. He was the definition of screwed, unfair adult. Yo, I hate adults, man. Whoa. At this point, I began to think that was no coincidence I'd met him. Yeah, what are you implying, man? What are you implying?
ねえ、そうですよ。前原圭一さん。
He answered in an absent tone of voice.
何かの事件でミオンを疑っていて、その友人の俺に何か聞きに来た。そういうことですか？
いえいえ、違います。
That isn't
私は
it.
園崎美音さんの友人と話をしに来たのではなく、
I came here to talk to
前原圭一
Keiichi.
さんに話をしに来たのです。
Not as her friend, I came here to talk to you.
ご自宅にお伺いしたらご迷惑でしたでしょうからね。
俺に警察が何の用だって言うんですか？
Having realized this fake coincidental meeting had me as its target, my mood immediately turned foul.
そんなに構えなくて大丈夫ですよ。肩を楽にして、ちょっと質問に
それって職務質問ってやつですか？
偶然知り合ったおじさんとの世間話ってことにしましょう。
Ooishi freely suggested that I'd relax. That said, behind his eyes were a light, which I could only see sometimes, that was sharp as a hawk. If I tried in vain to run away, he might actually take me in and bring me to an interrogation room or something. That was undoubtedly an unpleasant thought.
ゆうべは渡長市のお祭り、盛大で楽しかったですね。
Yo, that shit was lit, man. I'd do it again.
はぐらかさないでください。
Yeah, no, seriously, stop beating around. Just tell me what the fuck is going on.
今さら世間話なんかされても。
昨日の渡長市の晩、富武二郎さんと高野美代さんにお会いしました。
Oh, exactly how Mion asked too. Gulp. I could painfully feel myself give a start.
あれ、写真はどこに行っちゃったかな?
Painfully give myself a start. I don't know what that means. Where did you see where you put those pictures? Those pictures. He opened a small notebook and removed 2 photographs. I didn't have to look.
さあ、
well,
どうでしょう。あったような、合わなかったような。
I was asked the same question for the second time today. I gave the same answer for the second time too.
あれ? 記憶が曖昧ですか? まさかアルコールが入っててよく覚えてないなんてのは
No,
なしにしてください
that
よ。
was me on. Whoops. Here too, I got the same answer as I had from Mion. I realized he wasn't talking in vague replies. Well, Why is he asking me the same thing Mion did? The dark feeling I had nearly forgotten due to my conversation with Shion came rushing back in a hurry. We snuck into the sacred ritual storehouse. Punishable act. It was on a tiny impulse. While it may not count for much now, I do feel sorry about it.
もう一度お聞きしますよ。
Whoa. God damn, that car is loud.
ゆうべのお祭りで
Whoa, look at his
富武
face.
二郎さんと高野美代さんにお会いしませんでしたか。
God damn. His tone was soft, but there was a dreadfulness in his voice, clearly different from the first time he asked. I'm scared, bro. That was exactly how I felt.
繰り返し聞かれても、答えはさっきと同じです。
Oof. There wasn't any better answer I could give him. I didn't have the balls to say I didn't see them, nor the courage to admit I had.
そうですか。改めて聞けば、さっきとは違う答えが返ってくるかなと思いましてね。
I'm too scared to look Ooishi in the eye.
質問を変えます。ほら。
Whoa.
リラックス、リラックス。
Ooishi grabbed my shoulder and squeezed them, but if trying to give me a massage, it mostly just hurt though. Still, why would he ask the same thing as Mion? If he's asking the same thing, then the next question must be.
同じく夕べのお祭りなんですが。
Oh my god. I don't know her. I don't fucks with her. Clatter, clatter, clatter. I wonder what that sound was, and when I looked down, I saw that it was the unmantled ice in the cup I was gripping with my hands. Oh, was he shaking the cup? And it's like shaking. My hands were trembling, rocking the ice back and forth. Realized that I hesitantly put the remaining ice in my mouth and crushed it down. Crunched on it.
あったかもしれないですけど、ほら、ミオンと見間違えてるかも。
Damn, that's a bad answer.
そんなわけはないでしょう。
Suddenly, Ooishi grabbed both my shoulders and hunched down to give me a level stare. Oh my god. This must be what it's like to be a deer in headlights. I wanted to look away, but I can't. This is the first time I experienced such a piercing
ミオン
stare.
さんもシオンさんも服装は全然違うんですから。
Yeah.
そう簡単に見間違えるはずはありませんよ。前原さん。
Yes? His voice was harsh. Harsh, the same as when Mion said it. I could feel my heartbeat quickening. When I realized he could feel it through the hands on my shoulder, I got even more scared. Why? Why are Mion and Ooishi-san both asking about last night? Was sneaking into the storehouse so bad that I shouldn't have let Takano-san talk me into it. Tomitaka casually said to check it out too, so even Shion, if she hadn't encouraged me, no, I understood. If I was the one most at fault here, I shouldn't have let my curiosity get the better of me. I should have gone into the forbidden storehouse.
おいさん、ホタルの光っす。
A young man wearing a suit came to the lounge. Yo, I don't know if he looks like a young man. That guy's a 40-year-old man. He has like a family, bro. Like, that's not a young man. From the way he held himself, I knew immediately that he was Ooishi-san's subordinate.
あれは本当だ。もう閉館なんですね。
I hadn't realized it until he said something. The jingle and announcement telling patrons the library had closed had started playing without me realizing it. I was so irritated, so overwhelmed that I couldn't even hear it.
じゃあ前原君、もうこんな時間なんで私たちは失礼させてもらう。このお話はもっと時間のある時にのんびりといたしましょ
う。Well, this isn't a joke. If I never saw him again, it'd be too soon. Ooishi-san followed his subordinate and left the lounge behind him. However, he spun back around.
そうそう、前原さん。
Oh my god, someone else who has to say one last dramatic thing.
何ですか？
What is
さっ
it?
きさせてもらった2つの質問ですが、どちらの回答もよく覚えてない。
はい。
参考までに。あなた、昨日全員にお会いしてます。4人で楽しそうに歩いてたじゃないですか。石段のところで。私はこの目で見てますか。
Oof, oof. I caught my breath, and my heart seemed to seem like it was about to stop. What a detestable person. He knew. He was testing.
ではまたお会いしましょう。
Damn, he's
良いお年を。
Ooishi is a lot more sinister this time around. Last time he was a little more friendly about it. It seemed like he was using Keiichi very similarly. You know, he was using him as like a way to get inside, like I guess the structure of the sort of friend group, because they're all kind of involved with stuff. So he was using Keiichi last time, but this time he's definitely coming across as a little more sinister. I sat like a rock, unmoving, until I could no longer hear the clacking sound of their footsteps. Oof. Yeah, man, like, he seems a little more sinister than last time. I was on my way back home. The cries of the Higurashi accentuated the already lonely evening. More time had passed than I thought. The orange of the dusty sky was being chased down, little by little, by an indigo color approaching from the east. Exhausted from the slow climb towards Hinamizawa, without even noticing, I've gotten off my bicycle and pushed it uphill. Oh my god, it's already kind of dark. I don't understand any of this. That voice sounded weird. That did not sound like Keiichi. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god, excuse me. I don't understand any of this. You be like Patrick Star. I don't understand anything. No one had told me to face that I'd done something wrong. No one had told me to my face that I had done something wrong. No, in fact, it might have been much easier on me that way. Yeah, just tell him, bro, you fucked up. What happened yesterday really was just my curiosity. It really was no more than a quiet prank, no more than having the courage to cross at a red light, as long as you did it with other people. The storehouse. That sounds like a very Japanese thing. You know, like jaywalking, something as kind of mischievous as jaywalking. Bro, like, I'm sorry, no one cares. I see motherfuckers walk casually across the street on green lights. The storehouse for ritual implements, hallowed ground, only accessible to the family of the priest. For sure, I've seen terrifying things that I'd never imagined would be in there. Thinking on it now, though, it doesn't matter what was stored away inside. It didn't make the wrong I committed any more right. What the four of us did, Mion seemed to know about it. For some reason, even the police were trying to learn what the four of us did. Did we do something so bad? Really? It didn't matter how much it was. I did something wrong. It was nothing more than that, and yet I didn't accept it. I didn't apologize to Mion or Ooishi-san. All I did was shield myself with ambiguities. I did something wrong yesterday. I set foot into a forbidden storehouse for a little bit of mischief. I'll forget everything I saw in there. I won't ever do something like that again either. I just noticed this is a new background sprite, and also this song, I don't think I heard this song before. I really like it though. I'm sorry. Oh, there we go. The apology motif. If I apologize like that, would they forgive me? Why don't you just accept their apology already? I feel like that's a motif. Like, that's how this game started. Gomenasai, gomenasai, gomenasai. Why are you letting her say that? Just accept her apology already. The sudden cool evening air left no room for such sentiments. However, as it mercilessly chilled my feet, urging me to head home as soon as possible. In the end, the evening air was correct. If I trudge along such an isolated road, regrets would pile on top of regrets, but nothing would change. Let's go home. I'll go home, go to my room, put my favorite music on or something, and go to bed. That might sound plain and boring, but it's probably the strongest I felt all day. Ooh, whoa. Yo, this music is kind of going hard right now. Now that I made a decision, there's no point in dwelling in a place like this. I sat back on my bike. I pushed hard on the pedals. I rapidly advanced forward. I steadily gained speed. The wind was cutting and mercilessly cold, but it actually felt good, as if it were softly pushing me. That was good. That was a good little segment. I like reading stuff like that. I didn't eat much dinner before excusing myself early and returning to my bedroom. My mom called me from downstairs. Yo. Alright, I think it was Shion. She was supposed to call me. You recall, it's from Sonozaki-san. Sonozaki. Was it Mion? No, it was Shion. I just remembered. She had something she wanted to tell me today. Ooishi-san had interrupted us, so she didn't get a chance. Shion had said she'd call tonight. Watch it not be her. Hello.
Shion ka?
Is that you, Shion?
どうも。今日は災難でしたね。
She said it in a so plainly that I got a bit annoyed. She was the one who left me there and
そん
ran.
なこと言わないでください。私、ケイちゃんに一緒に逃げようってサインを。なのにケイちゃん、ぼさっと残っちゃって。
Yeah, that's true.
ボサってことはないだろう。シオンがあっという間に置いてきぼりにしたんで。あの後、俺は大石のおっさんにたっぷり。
そんなの、私に愚痴られても困ります。
I can't believe it. She passed it off like that. She looks just like Mion, and yet inside, she's this different. I got a little irritated at myself when I realized I was, somewhere in my mind, hoping for the same reaction I would get from Mion, even though she was a different person.
悪かったよ。次からはシオンを置いてくぐらいのつもりで。
できればレディーファーストでお願いします。
Shion laughed refreshingly. When I heard her voice, I realized that she wasn't really that angry or anything. It was just as she said. The cause of her temper was because it was my own fault for not leaving immediately. The cause of my temper, was because it was my own fault for not leaving immediately. I'll stop blaming it on others. Blaming it on others would be.
それより、俺に何か話があるんだろ？
あ、はい。もしも、もう知ってるなら、改めて言うような話じゃないんです。知ってますか？
Shion lowered her voice suddenly, as if she were glancing around. I had no idea what I could already know.
何のことかさっぱりわからない。
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, girl.
ヒントくらい出せ。
ってことは、知らないみたいですね。
Clearly, I don't know. She seems to take some stupid sounding questions as evidence. However, her voice didn't sound disappointed or exasperated in the slightest.
昨日の渡流しのお祭りの晩なんですけど。
My entire body jolted as I was assailed by a terrible feeling. Is Shion going to ask the same thing?
もしもし、ケイちゃん、聞いてます？
ああ。
Yeah. I'm here.
昨日の晩どうしたんだよ。
私たち4人入ったじゃないですか。
She didn't beat around the bush. Whether or not I wanted to admit it, that was the actual honest truth, and I couldn't act like it hadn't
それ
happened.
でその後、みんなで歩いて、石段のあたりで私たちみんな別れましたよね。高野さんたちは沢に行って、ケイちゃんはその場に残って、私は親類の人たちのところに行っちゃって。
ああ。
Yeah.
それがどうした？
お互い質問の返し合いになっちゃうと拉致が開かないんで、私からまず質問します。いいですか？
ゆうべ、富武さんと高野さんに会いませんでしたか？だろ？
Did I see Tomitaka and Takano-san last night?
はい。あの後、あの二人には会いましたか？
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't surprised. This is the third time I've been asked this question today. Why? Why? What the hell's going on?
どうしてだよ。だからどうしてそれを俺に。
ほらほら、ケイちゃん、質問は私からのはずです。答えてください。
シオンはあったのか？シオンが先に答えたら俺も答える。
Yeah, no, someone answered the question. My shady response betrayed how scared and small I felt now. After everything that had happened today? The fuck? God damn, why are there so many noisy cars today? Shion didn't say anything for a few moments. Just as I was beginning to think I'd really put my foot in my mouth with that response, she finally answered.
もちろん、会ってません。一緒にいた親類が証明できます。
俺だって会ってない。
I didn't see them
証明って
either.
言うなら、ミオンとかレナとかみんながしてくれる。
Now that we knew our answers matched, she let out a sigh that sounded more relieved than anything else.
正直に答えてくれて、じゃあ言いますね。ゆうべ、高野さんと富武さんが死んだんだそうです。
Wait, they both. Wait. Was it last time? It was Takano who disappeared, right? That's who disappeared. It wasn't Keiichi. Keiichi, I guess, would technically just be dead. But it was Takano who disappeared, and it was Tomitaka who died. But this time they both died. Like they're both dead.
ごめん、シオン。今、なんて言った？
ゆうべ、高野さんと富武さんが死んだんだそうです。高野さんは焼死体で。
It was Takano. Takano was burned to death.
富武さんは自殺みたいな感じで。
Oh shit.
今朝知ったんです。
Okay, so that's where they were kind of suspecting that maybe Takano was supposed to disappear. Because they were talking about like, oh, there was no disappearance. We found her body super fast. Okay. So I guess they kind of assumed that Tomitaka was the one who's supposed to die and Takano was supposed to one to disappear. But I guess it could have been either of them, but I don't know. I guess they just assumed it was.
お父さんが親類の人からの電話で話してるのを聞いて。
Oof. Late last night, the police car on its way back from festival security duty had discovered Tomitaka lying in the middle of the road, heading towards Okinomiya. He had clawed out his throat and died.
なんだよ。喉をかきむしった。
Clawed out his throat?
あの明るそうな富武さんが自殺？何かの間違いだろ？
警察がちゃんと検視したんです。自分の爪でガリガリと喉をかきむしって血管を破いて血をドバドバ出して自分の血で溺れ死んだんだって。
Ooh.
そんなバカな自殺聞いたことないぞ。自分の喉をかき破るなんておかしすぎる。
I realized I was yelling too loudly, so I lowered the force I was putting into my voice. I didn't want my parents to hear me, so I switched to the cordless phone and ran up my own room.
大声出してごめん。で、高野さんも自殺なのか？
高野さんは自殺かどうかちょっと。
Oof. Yo, I'm not gonna lie. These woods look fucking creepy, bro. I don't think I can go into woods like this, man. Shit like this is fucking terrifying. Takano's body was found in the mountains of Gifu Prefecture. Employees at the rest stop nearby reported to the police late that night that they could see flames in the mountains. The fighters dispatched there were the first ones to find her. The autopsy concluded that it was the burning of a corpse of a half-naked female. They intently considered the body beyond recognition, but directly after there was a request for dental comparisons from the blah 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 prefecture police station in Okinomiya, and the results concluded that it was Mio Takano. The cause of death wasn't confirmed, but it was highly likely to have been a homicide, since she was in her undergarments. Her clothes were nowhere near the area. Wow.
灯油缶が転がってたそうなんで、焼身自殺の線もあるそうです。
自殺なわけあるものか。同じ死ぬならもっと楽な方法がいくらでもある。
Yeah, there's more efficient ways to do that, man. Like burning yourself alive, that's crazy.
こんなの絶対に自殺なものか。
私だってそう思ってます。富武さんのだって自殺だなんて考えられない。
After the two of us rattled at each other, there was a silence as we paused to catch our breath. And as we calmed our nerves, right then I understood what Shion's story actually meant.
お社様のたたりってことになると思います。私たち、たたられるのに十分な資格がありますから。
資格って冗談じゃないぞ。
I didn't kill anyone, asshole.
別に俺は。
Oh, well, I guess I did go in there. Shion wanted to see, Shion wanted to see it with me. I went along with her. It wasn't my fault. I tried to say that, but I fell silent. Nothing would come off me blaming others. It didn't matter how much everyone else encouraged me. I could have put my foot down. I lost to my own half-assed sense of adventure and agreed to go in with them. Yes, it was my fault, and no one else.
お前は昨夜細工殿の中に忍び込んだらこうなるかもしれないと予想はついてたのか。
Wait, wouldn't Shion technically be okay if she goes in there? Like, she's technically part of the main branch, right? Or did they say specifically? I don't remember, but did they say specifically that only like the elders or like the maidens or whatever they were, like the shrine maidens or whatever, something like that, only they are allowed in? I don't remember.
そりゃ多少はやばいとは思いましたけど、こんなことになるなんて夢にも思いませんでした。
Shion's words were probably her true feelings. She knew she couldn't get in trouble if she could get in trouble if we were caught, but was the thrill of that little adventure, it was the same for me.
それよりもケイちゃん、ちょっとよく考えてください。今年のお社様のたたりはおかしくないですか？
I had already plenty strange. I was already plenty strange. It was already plenty strange seeing how Tomitaka and Takano-san died like that. Given all that, what could possibly be strange?
遺体が2つ見つかったってことです。言いましたよね。例年は1人が死んで1人が消えるんです。
Are they gonna be like, oh shit, both of them died, so two people are gonna disappear?
2人の死亡が確認されたのは今年が初めてです。
確かにそうかもしれないけど、そんなのは大した問題じゃないだろう。
いいえ、ケイちゃん、もっと真剣に考えていいですか？2人の死がお社様のたたりということになってお社様の怒りを鎮めるための生贄もまた2人分必要なはずなんです。
そういう理屈になるのか？
Is that how that works?
じゃあなんだよ。富武さんと高野さんが死んだ陰で今年は2人が行方不明になってるってのか？
I don't understand why. When I said that, I felt my
ま
spine
だ誰も
freeze.
行方不明になってないと思います。多分2人が失踪するのはこれからじゃないかと思うんです。
She, unlike me, was obviously getting the same feeling crawling down her
こ
back.
れから2人が失踪する。
Shion didn't answer. Come on, man, we already know where this is going. I couldn't say any more than that either. The chill crept in through my clothes and tried to wrap into a fist around my cold hands. Feeling about on my chest. Neither of us could say anything. Tomitaka opened the lock and he died. Takano exposed the ritual storehouse and she died. If 2 more people were to be sacrificed, then they would be none other than the ones who entered with them. None other than us.
まさか
No.
冗談だろ
I wanted to say so much for her to pass this off as a joke, even now. That thought was such an incredibly difficult and selfish request. If Tomitaka and Takino-san had died in a common way like a car accident, I could tell myself it was a coincidence. Instead, he clawed out his own throat, and she burned to death, drowned in oil, in the mountains. Those two deaths were out of the ordinary. Those two deaths were so out of the ordinary that I couldn't possibly dismiss it as mere coincidence. It was as if, in exchange for sneaking into the ritual storehouse, there must be someone punishing us, some sort of cruel will working behind the scenes. Even so, I still didn't want to accept that terrifying truth. If I did, then I would have to acknowledge the horrifying crisis was growing near for Shion and I. That's why I argued against it. I argued knowing I was running away.
大地そんなの新聞に出てないぞそんなに奇怪な事件なら絶対に新聞やテレビで報道するはずだろう雑誌記者とかだって面白がって大勢来るに決まってる
マスコミに報道されないのは当然なんです過去にそうだったから
That's how it was in the past. Oh, right. Then the incidents occurred for the third year in a row. There were some third-rate magazine that sniffed out the story and ran an issue full of gossip columns about Hinamizawa. Fearing that the region would develop a negative stigma, they negotiated with the prefecture and the police. Since last year, it became a big conspiracy where no information about the incident was allowed to be leaked to the media.
村長とかあと園崎家出身の金バッジが警察に思いっきり圧力をかけたんだって聞いてます
じゃあつまり二人の死は秘密裏に処理されてしまったということか
そういうことですもちろん警察は捜査をしてますでも秘匿捜査ということなので捜査活動にはかなりの制限が加えられているそうですこれは事実上の捜査妨害と言えるでしょうね
This story was unbelievable. People died and yet they don't publicize it and deal with everything in secret.
もっと噛み砕いて言うと渡流しの夜に誰が死んでも公にはならないという
It won't go public.
そんなバカな話があってたまるか
ケイちゃん私以前にお社様のたたりはつまりそういうこのひなみ沢では毎年綿流しの夜にお社様のたたりということにして誰かを殺してもいい土壌がいつの間にか作り上げられているんです
Whoa, that's crazy. Can you imagine that? Like, hey, we have so much power in this village. I mean, if someone dies, we could all just be like, yeah, it was the curse. It was the curse. Like, if someone actually was like, I hate that person, I'm just gonna kill them and say, and everyone in town would be like, okay, it was the curse. When someone dies on a night of Watanagashi, it turns into a curse of Oyashiro-sama. The curse turns into the serial murder incident. In order to avoid exasperating the negative stigma surrounding Hinamizawa, those incidents are dealt with in secret. This is crazy.
毎年死者と行方不明者が出るんだろいくらマイナスイメージって言ったって警察にも限度があるだろ
毎年の事件が不可解って言うなら警察も本腰を入れられるんでしょうけど何しろ毎年の事件は個別に解決してますので連続事件という形にならないんですよたまたま毎年綿流しの場に不幸なことが起こるそれだけのことに
Damn. Most of the criminals responsible for the original dismemberment were arrested. The last one managed to get away, but the event were totally exposed and elucidated, so it was in essence resolved. The dam supporting couples who died in the incident on the second year that was an accidental death, plain and simple, and made a lot of investigations into the possibility of it having been a homicide, but they didn't turn up anything. It ended up as an accident. It was resolved. On the third year, the priest fell ill and passed away. There were doctors present at the hospital at his deathbed, and they all had trustworthy medical certificates. They even did an autopsy. It all concluded that it wasn't a homicide. That was resolved too. The fourth year, the sister-in-law of the dam supporting couple was murdered. The criminal was an abnormal man with a history of regular psychostimulant urges. He confessed that he thought Yashiro-sama's curse was so interesting, he wanted to try it out. The criminal died of an accident while in prison, so this incident essentially resolved as well. That's right. None of the incidents that had relations to another and each was independently resolved.
なのになぜか毎年綿流しの晩に不幸な偶然が起こる。連続事件にしたくても連続にならないんです。それでも毎年必ず誰かが死んで。
Someone dies and someone always disappears. The story Takano-san told me on the day before during the setup was now that the curse really had occurred this year, I couldn't just laugh it off.
じゃあ、俺たちも毎年一人死ぬと一人が消えるように、富武さんや高野さんの道連れに消えさせられるっていうのかよ。
My lips had at some point become completely dry, and just saying that was difficult. Shion didn't respond. Her silence, however, was the clearest form of confirmation she could give me.
俺たち、そりゃ確かに入っちゃいけないところだったかもしれない。見ただけだぜ。何かを盗んだり、持ち出したり、見たことを誰かに喋ったわけじゃないんだぜ。
I was already regretting having committed such a wrong. Even so, was it really that so bad that Tomitaka-san and Takano deserved such cruel deaths?
俺はあんなの見ても全然面白くなかったし、高野さんが見て一人で大喜びしてただけだろ。悪いのは高野さんだけだよ。俺は全然関係ないぜ。
Damn, he's going.
興味もないし関係ないし、あの中にあったものだって知ったことじゃない。
I knew saying so wouldn't solve anything. I could feel myself, my cold self, in the innermost depths of my heart, disgusted at the pointless howling. However, my emotions had broken through the dam, and I couldn't stop them
俺は
anymore.
もともと興味なんか全然なかったんだ。リカちゃんの演舞を見ていたかっただけなんだ。それをシオンが勝手に連れ出したんじゃないか。あの二人が泥棒しようが相手しようがしたことじゃない。
It was Shion who pulled Keiichi aside and was like, "Hey, come check this out." He was just looking at Rika's like dance.
そうだよ。そもそもシオンが中に入ろうって言い出したんだ。
Fuck you, bitch.
ケイちゃんは見ておく必要があるとかなんとか思わせぶりなことを言って中に引き込んだんだ。どうしてくれるんだよ。俺は全然関係ないんだぞ。どうすんだよ。
Why did she do that? Like, what was her purposes?
どうやって責任を取ってくれるんだよ。
Oof.
おい、聞いてん。
Whoa. Click. Ooh. Without any warning, the phone cut off with the soft sound of the receiver. Cut off with the soft sound of a receiver being slammed down. Shion was just as terrified as I was. I just said she was really self-centered things. My riled-up emotion disappeared as if they never existed, and in their place surged waves of deep regret at having run my mouth so irresponsibly. I could try to call on Shion's name from beyond the disconnected phone, but it was too late. What have I done? Shion was only trying to tell me as much as she could about this thing about to descend upon us. As for me, I could only whine like a child about it. I wanted to call her back, but then remembered she lived in Okinomiya. I didn't know her phone number. Since I had declared to Mion that I hadn't seen Shion last night, I couldn't just call Mion and ask her for Shion's phone number. I was too scared. I couldn't call her back. I was stricken with hopeless regret. I returned the receiver to its stand and I simply prayed that Shion would call me back again. Please, Shion, calm down and call me again. Yes! Okay, now it's gotta be Mion. Now it's gotta be Mion.
もしもし、前原です。
I swept up the receiver as though it wouldn't go through if I didn't grab it as the exact moment.
前原さんのお宅でしょうか。夜分遅くに失礼いたします。君吉と申します。
Kimiyoshi? I was about to say, who the fuck is
ご
that?
主人様でいらっしゃいますか。
It was a voice of a girl who clearly wasn't Shion. All my hopes rushed out of
い
me.
え、違いますけど、親父に用なら呼んできます。
I wanted to put the receiver back down, but the caller stopped me
あ、いえいえ、お忙
hurriedly.
しければ結構なんです。実は恐縮なんですが、うちのおじいちゃんがお邪魔してませんでしょうか。
Whoa, is my old man paying you a
Yeah.
visit?
誰も来てませんけど。
そうですか。夜分遅くに申し訳ありません。失礼いたします。
Yeah, I was about to say, who the fuck is that? I don't know who that was, but what if Shion tried calling while I was on the phone? I thought bubbling with egotistic anger. Hey, wait. Give it a break, Keiichi Maibara. These are selfish emotions that made Shion mad at me, aren't they? The more I thought about it, though, the more I thought about that Shion had given up hope in a short time since we had our conversation, and didn't want to call anymore. Calm yourself, Keiichi Maibara. If Shion does call again, then first apologize in a calm voice. If you do that, then Shion should understand. However, no matter how long I wait, the phone didn't ring again that night. Oof. Yeah, he shouldn't have snapped like that. Obviously, Shion was fucking terrified too. Like, at the end of the day, she's gonna get, Onikaku sheet. She's gonna get spirited away too. Or demon away, sorry. Alright. And there we go. That's chapter 8. That was a good chapter. That was a pretty good chapter. I'm not gonna lie, the last chapter, it was cool. It was definitely atmospheric and creepy. It was a little too exposition-y. I feel like they could have separated some. I guess Takano and Tomitaka had to die pretty soon, so they couldn't separate it too much, but still, it was a little much. I'm not gonna lie. That wasn't the reason why I took me forever to stream again, but that was like definitely a very bloated chapter. All right, let's check this out. The significance of Watanagashi. Watanagashi, a festival of haunting for sacrifice and feasting on them. While the festival itself is remarkable, it has come to be considered a form of entertainment as well. Perhaps it was because of the disparity between being both an egregious act and a form of entertainment that the perpetrators began to believe themselves transcendent. Did I read this already? However, I found some very interesting literature that appears to raise questions about that explanation. As with most oral traditions, it's not easily swallowed, but it does mention a few things that spark my interest. According to this literature, even the residents of Onigafuchi village felt fear towards this ritual. Women and children would grow pale and tremble, and those of weak constitution would vomit. But it's said that the feast, the dissection, was an obligatory viewing. This is an extremely curious tale. Until now, I thought the residents of Onigafuchi village were fascinated by the Watanagashi festival. Wait, hold on. then looked down on the vulgar barbaric humans, cut them open like fishes, and eat them. And by eating them, they reaffirm their own holiness. At least that's what I thought. However, if the villagers gained from this ritual was not fascination but fear, then that would suggest the ritual meant something entirely different. There's the possibility that the executions were meant as warnings, encouraging the villagers to strictly follow religious precepts, creating by those with power by their own convenience. Onigafuchi village had been efficiently ruled over by 3 old families called the Three Families. Wow, so original. Without investigating the 3 families, I probably won't get any closer to the truth of the Onigafuchi village. The 3 families. We know Sonozaki. Would Rika's family be the Rurudu? I forgot the last name, honestly. Maybe her family, or maybe Satoko. I don't know. Or maybe it's someone we don't even know yet. All of these could be true. The 3 families. The 3 families refer to the 3 old families who effectively came to rule Onigafuchi village. To break it down, there's the Kimiyoshi. Wait, was that the girl who just called us? Kimiyoshi? That was her, right? The Kimiyoshi family, the Furude family, and the Sonozaki family. So I was right. Rika is one of them. And Kimiyoshi, that's one of the girls who called. And each of them still exists today. Though they don't have as much control as they did in the remote past, they still hold considerable influence today. The 3 families are considered by legend to be those in whom the blood of the swamp demon runs the thickest. Ooh, that was kind of hard. Okay, here we go. Kimiyoshi family. No, Satoko. It's not Kimiyoshi, right? Satoko is not Kimiyoshi. The Kimiyoshi family appears to have held great power as the head of the 3 families, but it doesn't have that kind of leadership today. The current mayor of the village, Kichiro Kimiyoshi, is from this family. So is that the guy who was like, "Is my father visiting you?" The fact that members of the Kimiyoshi family are elected as mayor every generation is thought to be a remnant of old systems. Of course, as no rival candidate appears, it doesn't change the fact that the Kimiyoshi family holds the mayoral office, even though popular elections is a post-war era. The Furude family. The center of the village faith since ancient times, the Furude clan has guarded the sole shrine dedicated to Oyashiro-sama. They were worshipped as the only people to represent the voice of Oyashiro-sama for a long time, but the family drenched off after the war and lost most of its power. It now consists of only the main house. The main house, as well, persistently consists of only one daughter, Rika Furude. So the lineage may end this generation. This is apparently an old tradition of honoring females of the Furude family, so the only daughter, Rika, is the subject of much respect among the elderly of the village. Sonozaki family, ugh. It is said the family had a certain police-like role of protecting the religious precepts of the Onigafuchi village. Only 3 families, their relatively weak position can seem from me putting them here last. Of course, today the Sonozaki family is flourishing, and the state of affairs among the 3 families has completely reversed. Even now, one could say that they are in control of Hinamizawa. The 3 families confirming with each other is similar to the old way the current head of the Sonozaki family, Oryu, or Roy, I don't know. Oryu? Essentially decides all the goings on in the village by himself. Oh, by herself. Oh, wait. By herself. That's who's the head of the village. Okay. And here's the last Oh wait, what was this? The last phone call? Or last night's phone call?
夜分遅くに失礼いたします。君吉と申しますが、ご主人でいらっしゃいますか。
Oh shit.
はい。いえいえ、その説は本当にありがとうございます。それでですね、こんな時間に大変恐縮、うちのおじいちゃんがお邪魔してないかと思いまして。
Oh wow, it's someone else calling? Similar to the girl, but it's not
で
her.
すよね。はい。こんな時間に、それでは失礼いたします。ごめんください。
どうだい？
Click.
ダメ？
参ったな。どんなに熱中しても電話くらいはしてくれる人なんだけれどな。
Huh.
囲碁の人の家は全部電話したんでしょ？
He plays Go with. Oh, does he play with his dad?
はい、君吉です。
園崎です。どうです？
Ooh.
村長さんは見つかりましたか？
Have you found the mayor?
ああ、ミオンちゃんか。片っ端から電話をかけてみたけど、ダメだよ。
Right. They said he's usually the mayor. Like the family's always
見つからないんだ。
the mayor.
参ったな。どこで油を売ってるのかな。
こっちでも心当たりにいろいろと問い合わせましたけど、全然。バッチャにも相談したんですが、青年団を招集して探し回った方がいいだろうということです。
Ooh.
こんな時間にかい。それに別に
綿流しの直後ですから、少し慎重に扱った方がいいとのことです。それでも見つからないなら、明朝警察に通報しましょう。
Okay.
見つかる見つからないは別にして、痛くない腹を探られない方がいいでしょうから。
おりょうさんがそう言ったのかい。
Uryu-san.
はい。直接声を聞かないと信用できないなら、電話先に出させますよ。
いえ。
Oh my god. No one wants to talk to her.
青年団を集めて探しましょう。それで見つからなければ、翌朝に警察に通報します。
青年団の連絡もよろしくお願いしますね。私もバッチャの代行ということで、そちらに参ります。
Nana's representative.
ありがとう。すぐにみんなを集めます。
ええ。では。
Oof. Okay, that was interesting. That was a good one to end it on. That's a very interesting thing. Wow. Okay. All right, and that should do it. That was good. I actually managed to finish a chapter on time. I thought I would have to cut it short because I kind of have to go somewhere. But it actually worked out pretty well. I'm actually got time to prepare to leave, basically. So yeah. For anyone who stayed and watched, thank you for watching. That was a very good chapter. I think I like this chapter more than last time. It was a lot better paced. Maybe I was just tired last time I streamed. That I got kind of, not bored, but I definitely got a little worn out. I think I did kind of say I wasn't going to read too much dialogue last time. So I don't know if, unless I was still reading dialogue, I don't remember. But overall, that was great. That was a good good section of reading. Oh, whoops. I pushed away the mic before I finished. But yeah, anyway, thank you for joining me. Hopefully we'll be streaming very soon again, so we can continue the series. Can't wait. All right. Oh yeah, I forgot. Okay, I guess we start with the really nice music. That's a great way to start. Let's save it here. Oh, it's 2 black screens. Okay. Whatever. Either way, thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Take care. Bye.